This is Miss Sebastian, and we're going to look at simple interest. What is 47% of 13? The first thing you need to know here is how to rewrite this as an equation. So 47%, I could just write down, and of means times. So I'm going to write it like this. I need to change my percent to a decimal. So 47% is the same as 47% of 100, or part of 100, which is 0.47. So then I can just multiply those two. And you can use a calculator for this. 232 is 25% of what number? So I see my word is here that tells me that's equal. 232 is 25%. I'm going to go ahead and write that as a decimal. Of means times what number. So what number means we don't know. I'm just going to put it as x. And then I can solve. I have 0.25 times x. So I need to get that away from x. And so I'm going to divide it. If I do that to one side, I have to also do it to the other. If you need to draw the line down through your equal sign, you can, to remind yourself to do it to both sides. On the right side, that 2500ths cancels out, and then you can use your handy-dandy calculator to divide 232 by 0.25. Okay, after you explain how to find 35% of a number. So 35% is 35 out of 100. Of means times some number. So we could put n, we could put x, we could put the actual number they give you. But all you have to do is do 35 over 100 times the number. You can also rewrite it as a decimal, 0.35, times the number that they give you, and you will get your answer. Find the percent of increase. Round to the nearest tenth of a percent where necessary. So on this one, we're going to set up a proportion. So we need to figure out what percent the price increased. So we always start with the original because that is the old price. So we're going to say, I need to figure out the difference between the new price and the old price. So 2 minus 5 I can't do. I have to borrow from the 7. 12 minus 5 is 7. 6 minus 3 is 3. So this increased $37. So you're always going to put the increase over the original. Okay, then you're going to cross multiply because this is a proportion. You're going to multiply 37 times 100 and get 3,700. And then cross multiply over here. 35 times x is 35x. We need to divide both sides by 35. Draw your line down the middle if you need to remind yourself to do that to both sides. And we're left with x equals 3,700 divided by 35, using your handy-dandy calculator, is 105. Find the percent of decrease. So remember, we're going to do the amount of the decrease over the original gives us x over 100. the percent that we're looking for over 100. So it started out at 58 and went down to 17. So we're going to subtract those two to find the amount of the decrease. 8 minus 7 is 1. 5 minus 1 is 4. So it decreased 41. The original price was 58. So now we're going to solve our proportion by cross multiplying. 41 times 100 gives us 4,100. 58 times x is 58. Draw your line down the middle. You need to divide both sides by 58 because it's being multiplied by the x. To undo that, we divide. What we do to one side, we have to do to the other. So we're just left with x on the right. And then type in 4,100 divided by 58. And it comes out to 70. Find the percent of markup. Round to the nearest whole percent. So on this one, we're going to use the same formula as before, where we do the increase or decrease, depending on which one you're doing. Increase over the original equals x over 100. So the store's cost is $132.50 and the selling price is $180.70. So the original is $132.50. And we need to find the amount of increase. So we're going to subtract these two. 180.70 minus 132.50. Can't subtract 2 from 0, so we have to borrow from the 8. 10 minus 2 is 8. 7 minus 3 is 4. 1 minus 1 is 0. So the amount of markup is $48.20. We're going to cross multiply 48.20 times 100. And then 132.50 times x. Draw your line down the middle. We're going to divide both sides by 132.50 because it's being squished up next to x, which means it's multiplied. And we need to undo that. So the only way to undo it is to go backwards, okay, and do the opposite. So we're going to divide both sides. You can use your handy dandy calculator to divide. And you do get 36.377, 36.4, and this tells us to round to the nearest percent. Find the sale price, round to the nearest cent. Okay, so the regular price is $55.33. Okay. The discount is 15%. The easiest way to do this is to multiply by 0.15. Okay, and then we'll subtract it from the cost because we'll subtract the discount from the regular price after we've already multiplied. So let's start by multiplying. 5 times 3 is 15. Carry a 1. 5 times 3 is 15. Plus 1 is 16. Carry that 1. 5 times 5 is 25. Plus 1 is 26. So we got to carry a 2. 5 times 5 is 25. Plus 2 is 27. We add a 0 because the 1 is in the tens place. And we're going to multiply starting with the 1. 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times 5 is 5. And 1 times 5 is 5. Add them all up. 6 plus 3 is 9. 6 plus 3 is 9. 7 plus 5 is 12. Carry a 1. 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, in my original problem, I had 2 numbers after the decimal and 2 numbers after the decimal in this one. So that means I've got 4 numbers after the decimal in my answer. So the discount will be $829.95, which would be $830. So this is our discount. That's not our answer, because you don't pay the discount. You pay the regular price minus that discount. So 3 minus 0 is 3. 3 minus 3 is 0. Bring down your decimal. 55 minus 8 is 47. So the price that the sale price is $47.03. Okay, find the regular price, round to the nearest cent. So on this one, we could say the percent discount is 0.30 times the original price equals the sale price. But it's not that the sale price is 30% of the original. It's 30% off of the original. So we actually need to say a whole, which is 100%, minus 30% times the original. So this is actually, how much are you paying? Well, when you think about a 30% discount, you're paying 70% of that original price. I'm going to put an X for that, equals the sale price. So I can solve this just by saying, okay, 100% minus 30% gives me 70%. 70% times the original gives me that sale price. So to go backwards, if the 70% is multiplying by X, to go backwards, I need to divide by 70%, or 70 hundredths. And I get X equals, and I'm going to use my handy dandy calculator to help me do the math there. 4808 divided by 0.70 would be $68. Find the interest earned in an account with $400 invested at 3.5% annual simple interest for 3 years. So simple interest is I equals the principal times the rate times the time. Okay, so the principal is the amount you invested, that's 400, times the rate, we're going to say 3.5%, so 0.035. Remember, you have to move the decimal 1, 2 spots. So 0.035 times the time it's invested. So 3 years. So I'm going to say 400 times 3 years times 0.035. When invested at an annual interest rate of 3.7%, I'm going to go ahead and change that to a decimal, and account earned $1,180.53 of simple interest in 5 years. How much money was originally invested? Okay, so I equals PRT. So we know that interest earned is here. So $1,180.53 equals the principal, we don't know what that is, times the rate, that's our percent up there. So I'm going to put 0.037 times the time it was invested, and it tells us that is 5 years. So since we need the P by itself, and these other two things are being multiplied by it, we're going to divide both sides by those. And you can do one at a time if you want, or you can do both at one time. Does not matter because they are being multiplied down there on the bottom of that division sign. Okay, so when I divide, if you're typing it in the calculator on the computer, you want to divide by 1. So 0.037, hit enter and divide it again by the number of